Hello guys, and welcome to another cast from the Stay At HomeStory Cup, another one from the group stages. And yes, I'm casting Serral again, because let's face it, when I put Serral on YouTube, you guys click it and watch it and give me lots of clicks, which generally goes very well. Best of 3 from the group stages. In the top left hand side, our blue Protoss player from Ting is Neeb, and he is the opponent of Serral. In the bottom right hand side from Ents, our red Zerg here in game number 1 of the best of 3 series, as we continue through and look to see what will happen in this. So Simulacrum as map number 1. Excited to see what's going to happen in this PvZ, as we'll see a hatchery dropping down in a moment or two. And yeah, this is again, this is kind of the same as the last YouTube upload, where basically we've got some downtime between a couple of tournaments live on Twitch today, so I'm casting a couple of series I want to do for YouTube in the downtime. So this is kind of designed as a YouTube cast, but also it's live on Twitch. So there might be a couple of notification dings and stuff, etc. So yeah, if you guys are enjoying, of course, and you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button, comment down below, let me know what you're thinking. And of course, don't forget to subscribe as well. Our road to 20,000 YouTube subscribers does continue. We're well on track to get there. But obviously, every little boost, maybe we can up that goal. Maybe we can up our expectations for the year. As we set this up and we get this underway. The Overlord making its way out to the upper left-hand side of the map. A Nexus dropping down from Neeb, a Cybernetics core will be built up on the front of the Natural, and Serral's Overlord will be coming through in towards the Natural very, very soon. So again, a little bit of information here as we get some ZvP underway. There was actually a comment the other day asking me to stop casting TVZ and to put some Protoss on the field, and I think I said I would upload one maybe yesterday, and then I actually didn't. It's going to be TVZ. Who did I kid? But yeah, this was the Protoss I was thinking of. Again, some Neeb action in here. Obviously, just want to get these Serral games up, though, because everybody wants to see Serral. So I'm just going to try and get all the Serral games up, and we'll go from there, and obviously try and do a little bit more variety, because we have had just a lot of Terran versus Zerg lately. A lot of Protoss players stopped competing in some online events like Trap and Stats, etc. So we've just been missing a few of the Protoss in online cups. Neeb didn't play in an ESL Open Cup for a couple of weeks, so Showtime as well. As you do see, this Adept just kind of coming out the front. A Stargate from Neeb on the way in the back of the main. An Overlord of Serral continuing up to the top side of the map. So continuing that across as Neeb will come down the left-hand side and onto the map. So just getting this Adept to try and pick up some info, but in the end doesn't commit it through. Wants to keep it back to try and watch out for this. So Serral here has not dropped a third hatchery just yet, which is obviously a little bit unorthodox. Keeping a couple workers on gas, 100 gas in the bank. I don't quite know what his plan is. Neeb is going to open with the Phoenix instead of the Oracle. Now, the Stargate in general keeps you very safe against a lot of the more funky styles a Protoss player can go, Zerg player can go for. Wow, this is going to be a 3-minute and 15-second lair. So Serral's going to get really weird. He's going to get really weird right here as we see this lair on the way up in the main base. Overlord of Serral up through the top side, and the Phoenix of Neeb jumping onto this Overlord pretty quickly. So we're going to jump onto this as we do see the 2 gateways dropping down. I mean, it's a very safe setup from Neeb, where it's like, you know, you get the Stargate play. You just add gateways instead of teching up beyond this, because then you have the unit count to help you protect yourself against whatever weird thing Serral is kind of going into. It's a depth shades into the Natural, but the problem is you haven't been up in the main base. So you still don't know this is a very fast lair. All you do know is that that third hatchery is very late, and there should be something coming your way because of that. So as Phoenix comes across, sees what is up, as we're going to be seeing the Oracle flying through the center, Zergling hanging around underneath there, as we do see the robotics facility. On the Natural, another gateway building up as well, and these few Zerglings, well, they are going to be moving across, and they're going to go and intercept this probe, I think, and they're going to start pushing that probe back up towards the Natural expansion. It just about survives. So probe will stay alive. The Phoenix and the Oracle still haven't seen the lair, by the way, as our Hydralisk Den drops down early. I mean, this is very different compared to what you'd usually expect to see from Serral. Yeah, that Hydra Den's really kind of out there and a little bit weird, isn't it? Definitely not the expectation, as we do see the Adept picking off a Zerglin or two and just going to be seeing the other Adepts coming across. It is just going to be Hydras and Hydra speed right away. It's kind of funny because if this was like a Glaives opener, I feel like you just die. Maybe obviously Serral does this because he knows it's not a Glaives opener, but I mean, he committed to it so early anyways. Maybe he had a different plan for Glaives opener. Because if Adepts show up and you've got Hydras and Lings, there's literally nothing that survives more than like 2 shots of an Adept. Everything just falls apart. Obviously against the Stargate, you're going to be kind of alright. Honestly, a Stargate into the Twilight follow-up and into the Glaives from there might have been kind of rough as well for Serral. But yeah, it's not going to be that. It was Twilight. It was into the Robo facility in the end, and the Twilight and the Forge delayed until now. So Neeb's just going to start building up an Immortal or two, and we'll see if he can do anything with that in the near future. For the moment, though, we already have these Hydras of Serral coming across the map. Not even gotten Hydra speed just yet, so making their way all the way across. They're going to be getting to the front door of this in a moment or two. These Hydras going to wander up the ramp. Lings coming in. Actually going to get up this ramp quite nicely and going to get in range to get on top of these sentries. Neeb, I mean, it's just a very weird attack that I just don't think he's really ready for, and he loses a lot of sentries. I mean, they should come at the cost of a lot of Hydralisks. He doesn't really get any of these out of there. This one just survives on very low HP. Resources lost. Favors Neeb afterwards. I mean, this is now 6 Hydras going down, so actually it's really not that great for Serral. As the Oracle comes in, I mean, it was just very weird. 6 Hydras showing up? It's just so strange. It's so strange. There's Oracle and the Phoenix down on the bottom side. Going to be seeing a couple of Zerglings making their way across. And the Temple Archives of Neeb sets up in the main base as well. So getting that up and rolling. Again, this Immortal about to pop out from Neeb as well. Charge on the way up. +1 attack on the way up. Getting these upgrades all brought out as well as the Observer of Neeb still coming in on the natural. The Oracle comes into the main. Drops a Revelation down on some drones and the Spore Crawler. I'm just going to be seeing the Phoenix pushing the Overlord down to the bottom side. A 4th hatchery of Serral sets up, and still some more creep spread pushing out into the middle of the map as well. Just getting a little bit of extra creep up and running here as the Oracle continues to the upper left. Immortals, Zealot, Adept, and the Sentry all joined up between the natural and the third base now, as we'll see these 2 Archons are going to be finished up very soon as well. Scanning these Archons completing as the charge is going to be done soon, and the +1 attack upgrade still Chrono boosting away. We're going to see this Overseer crossing towards the main base. So again, Serral just to check a little bit on what Neeb is up to, as Neeb is getting a Prism and feels like he's going to attack with +1 in charge. Thing is, Serral's made a switch up in towards Balin speed, and off what was a weird opener is now on 75 drones. 4 bases about to be done. And he's about to have the upgrades he needs to make this Ling-Bane Hydra army work, with the Bane speed and +1 melee finishing. The Banelings especially are going to become that much scarier, of course. As you see the army here of Neeb pushing onto the creep spread, so a couple of creep tumors going down. A few Banelings from Serral will be morphing in. A couple of Zealots pressing forwards, and here we go. Zealots charge into this. Baneling's going to blow up the first round of Zealots. I mean, these Hydras are just going to be in really good numbers. The thing is, these Hydras, if they don't go down fast enough, they deal so much damage. And with the extra Banelings finishing, Serral's going to be able to force these Zealots away. So the Hydras are kept very safe, and right now these Hydras are having a wild time. This Overseer is going to go down. Not sure why it was there. I think it was actually spreading creep and then became an Overseer. Not too sure. Anyways, the little army of Serral here is not so little, and actually 15 more Banelings on the way is terrifying. So Neeb, realizing this, is going to start backing away, but maybe this just gives Serral the opportunity to get aggressive himself. Because Neeb has been pushing. He has got the Templar Archives up, but he's not gotten the Storm finished yet. So no Storm on the map for the moment. Here we go, Lings, Hydras, and Banes. Out into the middle. Couple extra of Banes going to be morphing in. +2 melee. On the way up, again, we see +2 attack and the Storm upgrade coming into play right now. It's going to be seeing Serral through the center. Hydra's going to go picking away at this set of rocks. Bane's coming through, and there's going to be a couple of dead Zealots here. Storm's just not ready. Like I said, it's not really a great time, and wow, Neeb's just out of there. He knows these Banes are just going to crash through. The Hydra damage is too much with no splash damage ready. Yeah, you don't have Storm ready, and it's a nice little timing for Serral to attack and take advantage of. And that's exactly what he will do to take this game number 1 in the group stages here against Neeb. In this overall best of 3, Serral will lead 1-0 going into map. In the bottom left-hand side, our red Zerg player from Ents, this is Serral. Second map here on Everdream. As in the top right, our blue Protoss player from Ting is Neeb. Game 2 of this series, as we'll see a probe going down, dropping a pylon. And intrigued to see what Neeb can get up to in a game number 2. After a game number 1 where he kind of just got... honestly, I don't even know what to describe it as. Because what Serral did was kind of weird in the first place. And Neeb kind of then took more damage to this very weird attack than I ever expected him to take. And I don't think Neeb's idea was bad to counterattack. I just don't think he expected Serral to be up on, you know, 75 drones and a ton of economy like he was, as quickly as he was. I think that also was a bit of a surprise for Neeb. And then obviously, he doesn't have Storm ready or +2 ready or anything you really need to fight that army. I mean, mostly the Storm, right? You're missing the splash damage, and you really do need the splash damage. Without the splash damage, you just can't keep those units alive. You can't keep the units of the Zerg at bay. You're just going to get rolled over. You can't get rid of the Banes fast enough. The Hydra damage output's too high. So yeah, there's going to be Hatch Pool and then the gas here from Serral. A slight change up in the early stages. As you can see, a Nexus dropping down on the natural overlords. Continuing to move to the upper right. Bro, pulling back a little bit and just going to be having the hatch gas and spawning pool. All finishing up here shortly, of course, and in towards this early game. Really all eyes on Neeb and what he does with this Cybernex, of course. So once that finishes up, we can see some tech being made of Neeb. We can figure out what he wants to start doing here. As this Overlord of Serral just continues over for the moment, Cybercore is going to be done very soon. Couple extra queens still just building up and on the way out. So there's an adept from Neeb actually chrono boosting out of this gateway as well, so that's going to be getting this going. A couple other probes transferring away, waiting for the tech choice to be made. There we go. Stargate drops down from Neeb. In the back of the main, so gets that Stargate up and rolling. Couple Queens of Serral coming through. There's like speed on the spawning pool. Just gonna see this drawn down to the low ground, and the Queen coming out the front. So Stargate's going to be our choice in the end, and again, very safe and very standard, and I don't really blame Neeb after Serral was like, yeah, you know what, let's just play like madness, you know, let's do crazy things in game 1. Can't really blame him for trying to play safe in the second game as well, as the Adepts making their way down the bottom. So they are going to come across and obviously make their way through, try and get a couple of drone kills early, as Neeb can obviously shade those by. We've seen a couple of drones already being picked away at, and I mean, obviously a couple of drones is nice. A few Zerglings as well. We'll lose one Adept that's just a little too low. Couldn't keep that safe. One Adept survives, and once again, just the Phoenix first from Neeb, so we'll go straight out to shut down this Overlord. Clean that up very quickly. This Adept coming back in, just trying to double check some saturation. He's not going to commit. Is he going to? No. Just a little bit extra info there as Link Speed finishes up though, so this Adept's actually still being chased down. It's going to fall here in the end, so poor Adept does die. Oracle's actually going to show up on the natural. 2 Queens already did good damage to it though, and obviously it's taking a lot of hits. It just survives into the corner. Now Serral about to finish up a lair. So there's another very fast lair from Serral, right? I mean, 330 or thereabouts, maybe even 320 the time it was put down. So lair getting up and running. Again, this Oracle popping out of the Stargate, and going to be seeing this first Phoenix of Neeb out into the middle of the map too. A couple of extra lings around the bottom side, more drones building. An infestation pit of Serral and a Rotron coming into play. So Serral playing very, I mean, that's a super fast infestation pit off of a late third. I mean, is he just trying to rush Swarm Host this time? Yeah, very different style here from Serral. Definitely not what you'd usually expect to see. You see a second Stargate on the way up from Neeb. So he's going to go double Stargate against this, which, if this is indeed just trying to go in towards Swarm Hosts, this is very, very good for Neeb, because a lot of Phoenix actually do very well shutting down Locusts as they fly in. And obviously you can lift up swarm hosts and get kills on those and confirm kills. There's the Nidus network, so it definitely would seem like that. But then he cancels the Nidus. Drones pull away. He's going to build the Nidus elsewhere. I think was afraid of it being scouted. Where's he going to rebuild it? He just built it a bit closer to the front here. But now Adepts are showing up, and the first few Roaches are only just coming in. These Adepts don't have Glaives or anything, but, you know, there's still 7 Adepts to get rid of. They're going to be scarier than you think. And now they see the Nidus network as well, so Neeb already gets confirmation that indeed this is a Nidus network. Adept's going to shade forwards again. Oracle's still hiding in the corner. The Spinecrawl going to come to the front and wanted to kind of close the door off, but doesn't get there in the end. Now see the first few swarm hosts coming up here at the moment, so getting a few more of these underway. There's the robotics facility going to be finishing in the natural expansion, and Nidus network on the low ground here. Going to try and get these swarm hosts out. The Adepts and a couple of Stalkers showing up. They are going to be able to clean out this Nidus. So that Nidus is already going to get denied. Now on the top side, these few Phoenix coming in. This Overlord goes down. On the left-hand, right-hand side, Zergling's coming through as well. And a couple of Zealots and a Sentry able to push those back. Again, the extra Phoenix continuing to build. Still some Roaches and Lings in the center here. And just going to be seeing Neeb. Well, I'll bring these Phoenix around. We're going to see the Nidus finishing up. A few Locusts jumping up in the sky. And some Zealots going down now as well. Roaches and Lings down in the center. Roach gets picked off. More Zealots being warped in. Honestly, I just don't feel that good for Serral here at all, because these Swarm Hosts just don't feel like they're going to do anything. That's the transfusions all used up, by the way. He doesn't actually fight the Locusts with the Phoenix, because he's just lifting up these Queens, etc. The thing is, these Queens are going to start going down. They're not going to jump back in the Nidus, so they are all going to go down. That's going to be really bad. Another Nidus out the front here now, as well as these Phoenix. They don't quite get this one. They actually do let a few Lings into the main base, though, so Neeb might take some damage there. Adept, couple Stalkers, and an Immortal coming through as well, as we're going to be seeing the Zerglings into the main base, trying to surround a couple of these Zealots. Again, the Phoenix production continuing, as we do see that now is cleaned out, and just going to be seeing the rest of this brought around towards the third base here. A few Locusts dropping down again, and I will say once more, I think these Phoenix are just not quite always in the right position. I feel like this should be going better for Neeb, because I feel like if these Phoenix are in the right places and fighting these Locusts, then they won't be doing anywhere near as much as what's being done right now. Now, this is nice, though. Right now, the Phoenix are lifting up some of the Swarm Hosts as they pop out of the Nidus. Now he's going to kill these Queens off, too. So there goes the anti-air. And now you can see some of these Locusts that'll go down before they land. And Serral's just like, yep, that's not working out. So it doesn't go that badly, as Neeb will tie up this series 1-1. And we're going to game number 3. Game number 3, it's gone to the final map here. As we have in the bottom left-hand side, our blue Zerg from ENCE Esports. It is Serral. And so far, not quite so easy for ENCE, as he has dropped that last map. Some weirder builds from Serral, actually. It's, yeah. Kind of interesting. Just I kind of see him just coming out with some early lair builds. 2 games in a row. A 3rd time in a row now on Eternal Empire. The thing is, if you do it again here against Neeb, our Red Bros player from Ting, I think you have to go Swarm Host on this one, because Hydras they just don't walk across Eternal Empire if you're looking for early aggression. So, kind of intrigued as to what's gonna happen here. Just because of how Serral played in those first 2 maps. Again, very differently, very off from what you might usually expect Serral to be doing. Definitely an interesting experience so far, as you do see this probe making its way down to the bottom left. So that's going to come down the bottom here. As you do see this hatchery building up on the natural expansions. Again, that up and rolling. And the Overlord in the center making its way to the upper right-hand side. And just going to be seeing the extractor and the spawning pool, etc. coming into play. So again, that up and rolling here as well. So a little bit of a build-up, a little bit of setting up to see what's going to happen. We'll see this probe comes in and actually nibbles away at the drone there for a moment. There's the cybernetics core from Neeb. On the front here too. Waiting for that to finish, because again, a lot of I mean, typically in PvZ, you're kind of waiting for the Protoss player to make a tech choice, right? But obviously now, we're maybe looking to see what Serral does on the lair timing. So, yeah. I guess we'll see a bit of what both players want to do here. Obviously, Neeb went Stargate 2 games in a row. Went double Stargate last game, and typically, actually, this is the map for double Stargate now, Eternal Empire. So we'll see if he wants to do something like that again. He does go no warp gate right away, which is a general indicator that you go Stargate initially, because you're not relying on warp-ins for your tech structure. It's going to be the Stargate once again, so this can be absolutely a scout for Serral here. And seeing the warp gate not starting is a very good indicator that this is likely a Stargate. Unless Neeb's trying to pull some mind games. Single Zergling moves out across to the upper right-hand side and will be coming through. Try and see where it can get to and try and see what it can get up to. As there's a Adept just kind of patrolling out the front, seeing what's up, seeing what's happening. Probe of Neeb up the right-hand side and wants to go in towards the Nexus here. Just going to bring that through in towards the natural expansion. Zergling of Serral continues out down the left-hand side then, so continue to set that up. Because again, that link speed going to be finishing in just a few moments. Our warp gate continuing in, so that's going to be on the cyber core. Again, the lair coming up in the main base. The Adept coming around, and Zerglings not going to commit onto it as the Phoenix is going to grab this Overlord. Just going to get the Scout in, sees the Oracle as a follow-up to the Phoenix here, so good little information there for Serral. And the lair about halfway done at the moment. Third hatchery dropping down. It's just this fast lair for the third time in a row from Serral. I don't know what to make of this, guys. I don't even know what he does this time around. Like, first two games, it felt like, it's a bit of a mind game as well. You do your lair quickly again, but you change up what you're doing. What do you do this time? I really don't know. I really do not know. As the Oracle of Neeb continues down the bottom side of the map. Getting that third hatchery just about halfway along. It's going to be the Hydralisk Den again. So Serral back to the Hydra Den. Off a late third hatchery. I was just going to see the Robo building up in the natural. Oracle and a Phoenix into the main. Revelation drops on a Queen and then actually lifts up the Queen to stop it from killing the Oracle in time. This was just two Oracles and now into the Robo facility from Neeb as well, as we're going to be seeing these Zerglings. A few of those guys running out onto the map here. Feelings on the upper right side as well. Just going to see the Oracle taking a shot or two pushed out to the left. Serral still dealing some good damages. The Phoenix flies up the left-hand side as well. More Lings gathering up together. These couple of gateways finishing up in the main. Robo facility dropping down. Going to be finished momentarily. Muscle Augments and Serral just doing this Hydra thing again. But this is all seen by Neeb, so he knows what's up. He knows it's Hydra's early. He knows that Serral's probably just opening, quick Hydras in towards kind of Lingbane Hydra. This time, I don't think there's, it's Eternal Empire, so you play it differently in the sense that you don't make a bunch of Hydras and wander across with 6 Hydras right away. Just going to be seeing the Forge, the Twilight Council continue to come on through. No, it wasn't a send to get one Zerglin as well, and then with the Phoenix in tow, they're going to come down the bottom side where there's a couple of Queens right away to deal some damage. I like this, just gets in to drop a Revelation. Keeps track of what's spawning as well, so you can see extra drones, and as Neeb, that should tell you a bit of, okay, well, you're not being that aggressive right away here. Which is obviously great. And there's these couple Oracles back around this right-hand side. Two more Zealots warping in. Neeb still bringing a lot of these units back across towards the far right. Some Zerglings are setting up in between and amongst all of this as well at the moment. There's our charge coming up from Neeb. With the +1 as well. And this is a pretty typical move out that Neeb makes right here. This is something you do a lot of the time in PvZ. Get onto the map, put on a bit of pressure, force some units. Against the setup that Serral's doing, I guess it just works the same as usual, but of course, there is no roaches here, so you have got to just be careful of the Lings. You really want to put some damage on the 4th, but a couple Hydras coming through, and I think that should be about all you're looking for here as Neeb. Back away and just go into the next stage of this. A lot more Lings being made, but these units should be back home safely. If the Templar Archive's finishing, it's time to just prioritize that Storm against this Lingbane Hydra comp. couple Archons initially don't go amiss, right? You get some Lings up in here, get some Archons up in here, and you can shoot down Lings very quickly. They can soak Banelings nicely. But Storm has to be a priority against, again, Banelings and Hydras this early on. Because you've completely bypassed the Roach stage of the game, you're basically just getting to a point where from the very start, you are just going to have the, the Hydras and the Banes in better numbers very early. Look at Serral, just goes into a Spire swap. I mean, a Link Bane Hydra into a Spire switch is really also something you don't see all the time. These hallucinations fail to see the Spire, which comes into the third base in the front here, so really no information gained for Neeb just yet. So those Mutalisks themselves could be pretty dangerous. I am intrigued. I know this entire series, I feel like I've said I'm intrigued, I'm interested in what's going on a lot, but it's been a bit of a weirder PvZ in all honesty. It's definitely not been the norm, as that's a nice snipe. These few Lings get a surround on a High Templar, gets the kill. Oracle still being active and tagging up, revelating the Hydra Force. Still has not seen the Spire, if I'm not mistaken, so still doesn't know about that. Does Neeb just die to Mutalisks here? I feel like it's a possibility. As this army comes around the top side. Spire about to complete. Again, +2 melee and the Baneling speed on the way. A lot of this army coming out the right-hand side. Again, creep spread from Serral, continuing up the top. 15 meters on the way. The thing is, you've got Storm, but you haven't made any Archons, right? So you're really lacking a lot of the anti, and the Storm actually isn't that great against the Mutas, because the Mutas can kind of dodge in and out of it a lot more easily. So see this that shade onto the Watchtower now as Hydras and Banes joining up in towards the center as well. They're going to take that tower. Fleet Beacon on the way from Neeb. He's looking to play the later game, but... Or maybe he's looking to get Anion Pulse Crystals against the Mutalisks. Either way, these Mutas are coming across the map, and Neeb, his preparation for this is lackluster to say the least, of course. I mean, a cannon in this mineral line is not going to hold up very long. He's going to start a warping Stalkers, and he's just going to type out GG. Not the best of series here, actually, between the two of them. Not quite what you're hoping for when you talk about the hype of what could be Serral versus Neeb. It's going to be GG. Serral takes it 2-1 and wins this series, this best of 3 out.